day everybody, thanks for joining us. We're going to be demonstrating today XOP's Ringdown Firebar conference server as mandated by the FAA at all the major airports in the USA. We have actually deployed very close to 100 of these systems, and what I'll be explaining today is the basic operation of the system and its component parts. In this particular demo system, you can see there's a master phone. This is what would normally go in the control tower of an airport. And the difference between this and the other phones is that the air traffic controller can see who's on the call. So that's very important, so he knows who he's talking to. Here we have two IP phones, and the IP phones are typically used by the fire chief in the fire station, and they're connected IP-wise to the system. We've also got two over here, an IP strobe that flashes blue and an alerter. This is right now just does a single burst of alerting tone, but it can be changed as you need fit. Here we have an analog phone, and we've supposed that this is going into the emergency management services or airport admin. And here we have the admin PC that is connected to the system. Now let's look at the actual component parts of the system. It's based on a Cisco 4451 router, and inside the router is an application processor. It's a server-based system here which has XOP software on it. In this particular configuration, we've configured an 8-port Ethernet switch in the middle. This Ethernet switch provides power over Ethernet to power all the phones and devices. So there's no external power required whatsoever. Just one power cord powers the entire system. Now what I'm going to demonstrate is the actual functioning of the system. And it will be a little bit loud when the alerter goes off, but it's only on for a second or two. So all the air traffic controller has to do is pick up his handset. Doesn't need to dial anything, doesn't need to do anything other than pick up the phone. And now you can see that the strobe is flashing, the alerter has gone off, and the phones are ringing. Now all these phones are on continuous ring cycle so that you can differentiate the ringing from ordinary phones. I'll just go off hook on these phones, and now everybody's joined together in a multi-party conference, and it stays alive now, doesn't care what happens, whether the phone gets hung up or whatever. In fact, if the phone does get accidentally hung up, it'll automatically rejoin when you just pick it up again. And that applies to all the phones that are here. There's one more capability that I should show you. And now I want to explain a little bit more about the master phone. You can see here are the status lights. I'm going to go off hook, and you can see that they're all flashing here. And as those phones answer, then it turns to a solid color. This lets the air traffic controller know exactly who's on the conference call. Now I'd like to summarize. You've seen a demonstration of the system. So what we've done is to demonstrate the master phone and its features, the satellite phones, whether it's a strobe or an alerter, or whether it's a simple analog phone. The three takeaways from this that I want you to be appreciative of is the system is mandated by the FAA for all major airports in the USA. The master phone is unique to XOP insofar as it has a complete status of all the other parts of the system. What I didn't mention earlier was that the admin PC can also display the actual status of the system. I can just demonstrate that quickly. I go off, and you can see that real view actually shows the stations as they go off hook. And that's very useful when you're fault finding or doing some troubleshooting. You can have this admin PC. Once the system's set up, you can disconnect that. It doesn't need to be connected anymore. On the subject of connections, I'd just like to mention these Ethernet ports here. These are all universal. It doesn't matter where you plug the devices in any of these 8 ports. It'll still function. You don't need to change any programming. It's all automatic. There is one additional connection here. This is the analog phone, and there's 2 analog ports here. We're only using one, and as you can see, it's got a green light that shows you that it's an active port. One other little feature I wanted to illustrate is that if any of these phones goes off hook and it's not part of the emergency conference, they'll get a message that says please hang up immediately, and I'll just illustrate that. This is an emergency phone only. Please hang up immediately. This is an and there you can see if somebody tries to use this as a regular phone, they get a polite message that says hang up, this is an emergency only call. So I think that's demonstrated all the capabilities of the system, and if there's any other questions, please refer to XOP. Thank you.